The Manager of Opposition Business.
Thanks, Speaker. My question is to the Environment Minister. How can the Minister claim there was extensive due diligence before offering the Foundation almost $500 million when the government didn't contact the Foundation, didn't go through all of its annual reports, didn't know how much money the Foundation had raised, and as has been revealed today—
The Manager of Opposition Business will just pause for a second. Members on my right will cease interjecting. The Manager of Opposition Business, I'd like to ask him to repeat his question again. Members on my right expect me to hear the questions, particularly when the Leader of the House raises points of order on them. The Manager of Opposition Business, if you could just start again.
Thanks, Speaker. The question is to the Environment Minister. How can the government claim there was extensive due diligence before offering the Foundation almost $500 million when the government didn't contact the Foundation, didn't go through all its annual reports, didn't know how much money the Foundation had raised, and as has been revealed today, is a Foundation that has now had to contract out its fundraising plan to a consultant, which was the very issue that the government had claimed was its core expertise?
Hear, hear. The Minister for the Environment.
Well, that fundraising expertise must have been the reason why the Labor Party welcomed the announcement of $500 million when we did. Thanks to the member for Sydney. That fundraising expertise must be the reason why the member for Watson gave $12.5 million when he was last in government. That must be the reason why the member for Grainler has called the Foundation a reputable organisation, Mr Speaker. Always rely on the member for Grainler for a timely intervention. Now, Mr Speaker, as I've told the House previously, there was due diligence conducted by my department. In the first phase of due diligence, they looked at its governance, its structure, its constitution, its project management, its fundraising history, its capacity for growth, its board composition and its science expertise, Mr Speaker. On the second phase of due diligence, which then informed their final recommendation to me, Mr Speaker, which I signed off on the 20th of June under Section 71 of the Public Governance Performance and Accountability. They made it very clear that they looked at the corporate information, the financial reports, compliance with applicable laws, litigation, property searches, asset checks of the Foundation directors and engaging the Australian government solicitor. Now, Mr Speaker, we've got to go back to the reason why the Labor Party is raising this issue at this time. And it's because when they were in office, they put the reef on the path to the endangered list, Mr Speaker. On the path to the endangered list. And, Mr Speaker, I want to read from a 2012 statement from the World Heritage Committee. In the absence of substantial progress, the possible inscription of the property on the list of the World Heritage in danger, Mr Speaker. Now, we know that the Labor Party had 5 capital dredge disposal projects planned for the marine park, and we know, thanks to the good work of my predecessor, he actually banned those dredge disposal projects and the ones going forward. We know that through the good work of my predecessor, we put in place a $2 billion Reef 2050 plan with the Queensland Government, Mr Speaker. And we know that this $500 million has been welcomed, Mr Speaker, including by the Queensland Premier, Mr Speaker, and the Queensland Minister of the Environment, who in a joint statement with me said on the 20th of July about the $500 million, the actions of the work we're doing with the $2 billion Reef 2050 long-term sustainability plan will be bolstered by the recent investment of an additional $500 million in the Great Barrier Reef by the Australian Government, Mr Speaker. So there we have it. A Labor Queensland Premier saying that these $500 million will bolster our efforts. We have the member for Grainler saying it's a reputable organisation. We have the member for Sydney welcoming the announcement was made, and we have the member for Watson giving money to the same foundation when they were in office. Talk about hypocrisy. Thy name is the Labor Party.
Minister's time has concluded. The member for